Let the weekend begin in Miami. Sun's out, and the roof is wide open as the Marlins and the Phillies open a weekend series. The Marlins are hot right now, winners of 7 of their last 8 superhero nights at the ballpark. That's a little Hulk. Jerome Williams going for the Phillies on the mound, and Tom Kohler goes for the Fish. And just in case you need Billy involved, little Captain America. Hi everyone, Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. Momentum in baseball is an elusive thing, but the Marlins seem to have it, and obviously they'd like to bring it with them this weekend.
You know, just seeing the highlights of Ichiro's home run, his 113th career home run, just seeing those highlights kind of get you going and get you ready for this series here.
That was an incredible moment. Great at bat, and it finished with a home run.
Yeah, it was absolutely tremendous given the whole scenario against a tough left-hander, Alex Torres. I mentioned 113 career home runs now for Ichiro. I guarantee he hasn't hit one that gave him so much joy in quite a while. And everybody in that dugout loves this guy.
Ichiro actually said it almost moved him to tears to see his teammates so happy for him. And for the Fish now, look at this. Last 8 games, you know they've won 7 of 8, and this is how they've done it.
You know, the Marlins have played solid baseball. All you have to do, look at all those numbers throughout. Look at the one at the very bottom. Just 1 error in the last 8 games. You put all those numbers together, normally you're going to win 7 out of 8.
All right, the Marlins saw Jerome Williams up in Philly, and Jerome Williams beat Miami. In fact, Williams, in his last 2 starts, has pitched very well.
Yeah, he has. Veteran guy. He's kind of a journeyman pitcher, not overpowering. He won that game 7-3. Giancarlo took him deep. That was one of the runs the Marlins were able to get against the veteran Jerome Williams.
Tom Kohler in this ballpark has been fantastic.
He really has, and he's also pitched well, which he did last year against the Phillies. Tom Kohler last year against Philadelphia in 4 starts, 2-0 with a .288 earned run average.
The Marlins with momentum and a weekend series against the Phils. Superhero night. Who will step up? Who will be the hero tonight? Oh, just stop it, will you? Marlins and Phillies coming up. absolutely beautiful in Miami right now. Let's go out to center field. Jeff Conine, Craig Minervini.
Rich, Superheroes Night here at the ballpark. Great theme. Some of the fans are getting these great Marlins shirts with the little Superman type outline and the Marlins logo. And the Marlins have a lot of superheroes. Jeff's going to show us a few of them, including this guy.
I mean, why not? Superman, he can pretty much do it all, right? You see his bat speed. He can throw out runners. He's fast. But talk about fast. Here's my personal favorite growing up as a kid was Flash, the guy that could run really fast. You got Iron Man behind the plate and JT Realmuto.
And then you got Etch, Spider-Man. We asked the Marlins for their favorite superheroes.
Have to be the Hulk.
I like the Hulk. So I'd be the Hulk.
Because he's big and misunderstood, just like me.
You know, he can't control himself sometimes, but that's okay.
I was a big fan of Captain America, so I'd have to go with that one. Big fan of his shield.
I'm kind of into the Thor movies and stuff, so I'd have to go with Thor.
My nickname was Soup for a long time, so I would probably say Superman. Batman's a favorite, too.
Superman, man. Come on, I mean, you know, guy's the best. He's tough.
Hopefully they keep playing with these superpowers they've been playing with the last 8 games. Absolutely outstanding in all facets of the game.
Absolutely, and they are 7-1 with 3 more to go on the homestand against a reeling Phillies club that is 8-15 with some of their superstars from years past really struggling in this 2015 campaign. Game 1 of the series coming up. Second matchup of the year between the Phils and the Fish.
Toyota, let's go places. And by AutoNation, save on over 70,000 vehicles now. Visit AutoNation.com. Superhero Night, fans have gotten into it. Marlins and Phillies. And it is absolutely gorgeous here in Miami with the roof open. His nickname was the Big Salad. That franchise never quite took off, but he'll be pitching against the Phillies. Jan Lexus brings you the starting lineups. Ben Revere has hit well against the Marlins. Odubel Herrera is having an outstanding rookie start to his career. Chase Utley is mired in an awful slump. And so is Ryan Howard. And so is Grady Sizemore. Cody Ashley at third. A 301 average into May. Carlos Ruiz doing the catching. Freddie Galvis has really hit well. And Jerome Williams beat Miami 2 starts ago. Kohler gets a look at a Philly team, as Tommy pointed out, he's had success against.
Yeah, first appearance this year against Philadelphia, but last year 2-0 with a 288 earned run average against Philadelphia. The other number that really stands out to me with Tom Kohler against the National League East here in this ballpark, he has an ERA of 2.38. So if there's one thing in talking to his pitching coach he'd like to see a little more improvement, even though he's coming off a terrific outing against Washington, even better fastball command. We'll look for that from Tom Kohler. Here's a look at the defense, brought to you by BMW, with Ichiro, Ozuna, and Stanton in the outfield. Prado and Etch on the left side. Gordon and Morse. Real Muto behind the plate. The defense continues to lead the league in fielding.
Not sure about that one. I think it's a combination between Mr. Mantastic and Batman. Anyways, here we go. 3-game series starts tonight in Miami. Phillies and Marlins. Tom Kohler to Ben Revere. And Pitch a Penny brings you the first pitch. Revere, 215 average. But against Kohler, in 16 at bats, he's a .500 hitter, 8 for 16. Goes after a fastball on the outside part. Ichiro is in, and Ichiro makes the catch. 2 pitches, 1 out. Tom Kohler went 7 1/3, one of the longest outings of his career in helping shut out Washington 8-0 his last start.
And did so, Rich, with just 95 pitches, mainly because he kept the ball in the strike zone, just 1 walk, 4 strikeouts in that game.
Odubel Herrera for the Phils, 23-year-old Venezuelan, and a Rule 5 draft pick, snatched out of the Texas Rangers organization. And I know the Phillies have scuffled. They come in at 8-15. They've dropped 3 in a row, but this guy's been somewhat of a bright spot. When you stack his numbers up against other rookies in the National League, he's tops in hits, in doubles, in triples, in total bases, and in stolen bases. Not bad for a guy that had not played in the big leagues and had not played much center field, and that's where he's been most of the year for the Phils.
Yeah, you saw that shot of Ryan Sandberg, his 3rd year as manager of the Phillies. Of course, Mike Redmond over in the other dugout, but Sandberg hadn't had a whole lot of bright spots this year.
His 2nd full season as their skipper. Kohler gets a strike, and it's 3-1. Starting pitching has been so big in this run by Miami. Two hops for Gordon, who gets the out. 2 outs, and here comes Chase Utley. In this 8-game run, the Marlins have won 7 of the 8. The starters have a 1.78 ERA and a 4-0 record. Here is Chase Utley, and the numbers that sit below his name seem like a misprint. A 114 average. Utley having just an awful month of April. 21 games.
I would say Utley's happy that it's the month of May.
It's the worst month of his career, a 13-year career. Last year, he got out of the chutes quite fast. The hope for the Phillies, and we outlined this in Marlins Live, is that Utley, Howard start to hit, maybe even Ruiz, maybe Grady Sizemore comes to life, and that the young players, Herrera, Ashe, Galvis, who all are having nice years. The young players are playing well. It's the veterans that aren't pulling their weight right now.
It'd probably be a little different story for the Phillies if the veterans, the guys you mentioned, were at their norm.
1-2 to Utley.
Yeah, the amazing thing about Utley, 8 for 70. He actually, in the middle of the month, April 14th, had a 3-hit game against the Mets. Since that game, he's gone 3 for 45.
lost his bat, got a piece of the ball, and the count stays at 2-2. Well, he's had such a great career. He's, as we mentioned, 13 years in as a Philly, 6-time All-Star, 4 Silver Sluggers. He was an All-Star last year. That coincided with that great April that you saw. His numbers really good last year. 36 doubles, 11 homers, played in 155 games. That's the most since 2009 for him. And an outside pitch, he tried to pull it, and that turns into a 3 unassisted. That turns into a 1-2-3 first for Tom Kohler. It's very comfortable tonight. No real chance of rain. The Marlins have the roof wide open on Superhero Night. Jam Lexus brings you Miami's lineup. Look at D. Gordon at 409, sitting atop the lineup and the National League. Martin Prado at third base. Giancarlo Stanton in the 3 spot. Marcell Ozuna hitting cleanup. Michael Moore slotted 5th. JT Real Muto is 6th. Ichiro 7th. Danny Echeverria 321 in the 8th spot, and Tom Kohler hits 9th. And here's D. Gordon facing Jerome Williams, the 33-year-old of Waipahu, Hawaii. That would be strike 1.
Yeah, he was born over in Hawaii. His parents lived in New York, and they decided to make a move. So born and raised in the beautiful island of Hawaii.
We've run through a lot of numbers with Gordon. The on-base percentage at .418. And the fastball zips in, and it's 2-1. Williams, a guy that has been in and out of the minors and into the majors over what has been a 14-year career in professional baseball. Parts of 10 of those seasons have been in the big leagues. Parts of 13 years in the minor leagues. Breaking ball, Gordon pokes it into left, and Revere is there and makes the catch.
No, but check out that defense for the Phillies, brought to you by BMW. There's Ben Revere. You saw him in left. Odubel Herrera in center field. Grady Sizemore, the veteran, in right field. Cody Ashe, Freddie Galvis, the left side of the infield. Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, and Carlos Ruiz behind the plate.
Martin Prado. Giancarlo Stanton up next, and Prado takes a strike. Prado shoots it over to the right side. That would be Chase Utley territory. And there are 2 quick outs. One of the highlights for the Marlins in their loss against Jerome Williams, our AT&T U-verse rewind, 453 feet worth of opposite field home run.
Worth of opposite field splendor into that second tier, the Marlins bullpen. And what did we discover? The only other right-hander that had gone up in that area was Michael Morse when he was with Washington.
It's amazing. That ballpark's been open since 2004. Stanton takes in. Williams would give up 8 hits in the 6 innings, but just 3 runs, 2 of them earned. Brian O'Nora calling balls and strikes. Manny Gonzalez at first. Paul Schreiber's at second. Clint Fagan, the third base umpire. Outfield playing Stanton deep and a pull. And that's exactly where Williams pitched him there. He missed in. You see the vast expanse. Counts 3-0. Let's see if he's got a green light. Let's see if he gets something to hit. Breaking ball, and he pulled it to Cody Ashe, who throws him out. Jerome Williams matches Tom Kohler in the first.
Second inning.
We'll check back later in the ball game as Ryan Howard, Grady Sizemore, and Cody Ashe are scheduled to appear for the Phillies in the second against Tom Kohler. Howard, and he pulls it foul. Marlins have the shift on the infield. Outfield pretty much straight up for Howard, who has clubbed 4 homers and 4 doubles. But he has not walked much this year, just 4 walks, and he's punched out 20 times.
Well, when Howard's locked in at his best, and especially in his home ballpark, he used to drive a lot of home runs into left center. He's played 17 games at Marlins Park and never homered.
Love that look. That's a great look at a backdoor breaking ball from Tom Kohler. His first strikeout.
Boy, he set up Ryan Howard beautifully and then just put him away with that curveball that just found the back door. Perfect pitch, as Fox Track shows you.
Grady Sizemore now, who is certainly an intriguing player by name and reputation. And the Phils trying to catch some lightning in the bottle. Signed him last year. Was released by Boston midway through the season. Played the last 60 games with the Phillies. In his day, there were very few in the game better. Sizemore, a Gold Glover, an All-Star, guy that had big years for the Cleveland Indians.
Well, just to show you, Rich, it's amazing the struggles the Phillies have had. Their 3, 4, and 5 hitters tonight have 27 combined hits, a 153 average. In contrast, D. Gordon has 38 hits. So it has been a struggle, especially this middle part of the lineup for Ryne Sandberg.
And if you're Sandberg, there isn't a whole lot you can do. There's not a lot of help, immediate help in the farm system except pitching. The Phillies have a dynamite rotation in Double-A filled with top prospects. Another backdoor breaking ball, and Kohler strikes out Grady Sizemore.
Getting him to think hard stuff in twice now. Once to Howard, once to Sizemore. He finds that outside corner and drops that curveball in just right.
May have gotten a little help. That was just off, but very close. If he doesn't throw the first one for strike 3, he probably doesn't get that call. Here's Cody Ashe.
All of a sudden you have a home plate umpire, Brian Onora. Now he's aware that that's part of Tom Kohler's arsenal.
To left, Ichiro is there, and Tom Kohler looks comfortable and cool and calm with the roof open in Miami. In Miami. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority. The Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. That is a gorgeous sight with the roof open, temperatures very comfortable in downtown Miami. There really isn't much of a breeze to talk about in the ballpark. And here is Ozuna. I guess, Tommy, it begs the question, having watched batting practice and you look at the weather right now, what does it do to the game, to pitchers and to hitters, roof open, rolling windows open?
I think the ball jumps a little better. I actually talked to Ozuna about that playing in center field, and he said it might carry a little bit more but he said he enjoys it.
Ozuna down the line. It's fair.
Yeah, he enjoys it.
And into the corner it goes. Grady Sizemore picks it up. Ozuna, who on Wednesday went down in that same corner for a double in his first at bat, just caught the line.
This is an 0-2 pitch that gets a little bit too much of the plate. I think Williams wanted it up and in, but it kind of drifted out over the middle of the plate. A good adjustment, and just keeping it fair was Marcell Ozuna with this two base hit to start things.
So Ozuna's at second. Here is Michael Morse, JT Realmuto, and Ichiro after that. Morse is one guy the Marlins would like to get going. And he fouls it back to the screen. The good news is that Miami has won 7 of their last 8, while Morse has tried to get it together.
That's a great point, because you've had D. Gordon's been hot. Prado off and on has gotten some key hits. Giancarlo has been hot. Certainly Ichiro with what he's done. But you've had a couple of other guys that you'd like to see catch fire. So it's good to put together a nice streak without everybody contributing. But as you pointed out, the starting pitching's been tremendous.
A dominant, a 1.78 ERA in those 8 games. One and two.
It's been a good matchup, the Phillies, for Michael Morse. In his career, .353 with 9 career home runs against Philadelphia.
Williams' changeup misses low. Morse just 1 for 6 against this veteran right-hander, who tips the scales 6'3", 262. Morse 6'5", 245.
It's a superhero matchup.
That's right. Just out. Ruiz was out there, tried to hold it and frame it, and Morse may have gotten a break. And you could see the ball right on the black. That's a strike. Morse sends it up into the seats and stays alive at 3-2.
See what our scouting report has on Jerome Williams. Lots of cutters. Curve's kind of a slurvy curve, and he'll use everything. And an area that's really troubled the Philly pitching, they lead the major leagues with 95 walks.
Three-two slow ground ball, and Ozuna got a good jump and break. He's at third, and Morse is out 6-3. But because the ball wasn't hit that sharp, and Ozuna with good instincts, Miami's got a runner at third with 1 out, and here is Realmuto.
Base running coaches will tell you, if you can get that good jump and make that ground ball go behind you, and then you can make it to third base easily, and Ozuna did that.
See what the Phillies do with their infield. It is early in the ball game.
Interesting, they're bringing it in.
This is a case, as you pointed out a couple weeks ago when he got to the big leagues, that JT Realmuto will choke up just trying to get contact, get a ball in the air. Oh, and 1. See him come off that knob of the bat. Williams misses in.
He had a base hit against Williams in the game that Williams pitched at Citizens Bank.
We've got a veteran on the mound who has appeared in a major league game for 7 different teams, and then a young catcher at the plate, a rookie who has earned himself the starting job in Miami.
And you have that veteran battery, certainly with Carlos Ruiz behind the plate handling Jerome Williams.
Really nice article on Real Muto by Manny Navarro in the Miami Herald a day or two ago, talking about his upbringing,
his athletic ability too.
Yes. We know that many of you watch the game with laptops and tablets, so if you have a chance, check it out. 2-2 coming. In the dirt. Williams looking for a strikeout. He doesn't want contact here.
And I would think with contact on the ground, Ozuna will be running.
Ichiro is on deck. Scoreless ball game, bottom 2. Miami trying to carry this momentum through the weekend. A 3-game series against the Phillies. 3-2. Into right. Sizemore has it. Tagging is Ozuna, and he will score. JT Realmuto comes through, and Miami leads it 1-0.
Just a good battle. Got the count 3-2. Got a good pitch to drive. A fastball out over the plate. Did his job. And there was no way Grady Sizemore was going to throw out Marcell Ozuna. Good job by Ozuna. Got back quickly to tag up.
Here is Ichiro.
You know, even the small thing, and it certainly wasn't what Michael Morse wanted to do, but the small thing of the ground ball. But by making contact, he was able to get Ozuna over to third base to allow that sac fly to happen.
Ichiro pulls it foul. This obviously a big moment from Wednesday. And that one fouled back. T-Mobile game changer. First Marlins home run, 113 in his career. And he's hit some big ones. 59 of them have given his team the lead. That's amazing. That's more than half of his home runs have given his team the lead. Two-two, lined in the left center for a base hit.
Don't flop that little breaking ball up there. Ichiro will stay back on it and line it into left center.
Mike Redmond describes that as Ichiro filleting it into left field.
There's the breaking ball. He stays back, hands inside, and flips it into left center. You know, I was just thinking of this yesterday, Rich, with Ichiro. Ichiro and the late Tony Gwynn, two guys, 330 career hitters, but had they chosen, they probably could have hit a lot more home runs.
Without a doubt. And you watch Gwynn take batting practice in the day and watch Ichiro take batting practice. There's no question they have the strength and the power. Here's Echeverria. And he pulls one wide of third. Ichiro's biggest home run year, he hit 15. That was back in 2005.
Is that the Kingdome?
No.
No, was that at Safeco?
That's Safeco. That's Safeco.
Did he ever play in the Kingdome?
No, Kingdome was imploded, I believe, in '99.
Okay.
Or thereabouts. Ichiro arrived in 2001. On the ground, Howard has it and steps on the bag. But the Marlins are on the board first. Marcell Ozuna, JT Realmuto. roof is open tonight on this Friday night in Miami. The weather quite mild, low in humidity as well. And of course, it's a Friday, so it's a Marlins Flashback Friday. It's brought to you by Jeep. Post the best vintage Marlins photo of yourself and use the hashtag FlashbackMarlins. The Blue Ribbon panel will select the best photo and feature it in the post-game show.
Not an easy panel to get on either, the Blue Ribbon panel.
Once you're on there,
yeah,
well, though, you stay. I mean, it's like it's really hard to remove anybody from that panel.
Well, they get tenure.
Carlos Ruiz up into the Miami sky. Giancarlo Stanton makes the catch, and Tom Kohler's just getting outs right now. He has struck out 2. He has a pair of ground ball outs and now 3 fly ball outs. What is it about pitching in this ballpark, in your estimation, for Kohler? Is it big park? Is it just home cooking?
I think it's probably a little bit of both, but I think what helps is when you pitch, I think in a park such as this, you have to feel comfortable challenging hitters more so than you would if you were pitching in Philadelphia or at Coors Field. I think the comfort of the mound, sometimes a pitcher gets comfortable with a particular mound. Routines are always the same at home. Sometimes they change a little bit on the road.
Freddie Galvis, and Freddie Galvis is swinging the bat, which is great to see if you're a Philly fan. Always been known as a prospect who could play shortstop defensively and play it quite well.
Yeah, Jimmy Rollins didn't miss too many games as a Philly, but Galvis getting his opportunity now.
Rolls it to Echeverria, who throws him out. 2 outs in the top of the 3rd. It's a Saturday Spectacular tomorrow at 4:10. Phillies and Marlins, and you can get the all-you-can-eat seats for just $35. After the game, enjoy the first show of the Marlins Summer Concert Series on the West Plaza with national pop artist, Miami's own Jake Miller. Go to Marlins.com for tickets. Williams, first pitch swinging, fouls it back and out of play.
But whatever it is, it certainly worked for Tom Kohler. The way he's pitched here at Marlins Park. Terrific year last year. 10 wins, 32 starts. Under 200 innings, but not by much. So he was very durable, and he always has been coming up in the Marlins organization.
Count is 1-2. Tommy, did you know that Jake Miller is a rapper and songwriter, and he hails from Weston, just like Peter in Weston? This is Jake in Weston.
Probably lives around the corner from Kona.
That's probably does. Kona's giving him a ride to the ballgame. 1-2-3 inning for Kohler. He's retired all 9 that he's faced.
superheroes night here. You are not the Shazam?
I'm not Shazam. That's the other guy.
You're the Flash?
I am the Flash.
And you are?
The Green Arrow.
And the Hulk. There's a lot of guys dressed up. No, what am I, Spider-Man now? Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, yeah. This is great. There's a lot of fun here.
It's a big night here. I'm having fun, and I like this stuff, too. Look out.
Wait, watch this.
What's... Pow! It's a legendary night here tonight, and let me take this off. The game's going back, but what's the best thing about being are you the Green Arrow again?
I'm the Green Arrow.
What's the best thing about being the Green Arrow?
The thing is that I'm one of those superheroes without superpowers. So even though he thinks he's all cool because he's all super fast, I actually teach him how to be a smart superhero.
All right, well, that's good. Use your noggin. Use your noggin. Back to you guys. I liked Shazam, the old Shazam back in the day. That was one of my favorites. All right.
Very nice. Very nice. You learn something every day. I had forgotten of the Green Arrow. I remember the Green Hornet, but I don't remember the Green Arrow.
I do not remember. I tried to forget it, actually.
Here's Tom Kohler, D. Gordon, Martin Prado against Jerome Williams. Kohler hits a bouncer to short. Freddie Galvis picks it, and he can do that. And throws Kohler out for the first out here in the third inning. If you're just happening by, the Marlins and the Phillies opening up a 3-game weekend series. The Marlins are hot, the Phillies are not. The Marlins have won 7 of their last 8, including 2 in a row. The Phils have dropped 3 straight.
You know, you talked about the Marlins starters during their 7-1 run. The Phillies starters in their 3-game losing streak are 0-3 with an ERA over 13.
D. Gordon takes out.
But a guy who's been steady has been Jerome Williams for him.
And he was steady at the end of last year as well when they picked him up and signed him off waivers. There's a bunt.
Put it in your pocket.
Ashe's throw not nearly in time. It's amazing to watch D. Gordon bunt. One of the things that Brett Butler has counseled him on is not leaving the box until he puts it down.
Yeah, I think one of the things speedy bunters try to do is leave too soon. And it's really, as you said, something that Brett Butler has stressed with D. Gordon. And the longer you stay there, the more chance you're going to have of dropping down a perfect bunt. And that was a perfect bunt.
In Philly, Jerome Williams picked D. Gordon off. He has extremely quick feet.
That time he went quick to the plate.
I was about to say that
he didn't pause too much.
That was almost an extremely quick pitch, which is a balk. Counts 0-1.
And remember, D. Gordon trying to step off bigger leads, just get a little bigger lead.
Prado pulls it wide of third, and the count is 0-2. Prado is such an unselfish hitter that for Mike Redmond, sliding him into the 2 spot once Christian Yelich was out has really clicked, and it's coincided with Miami's run. Prado wanted time.
Well, that's a good call too. He asked to get time because Jerome Williams was really taking his time. He's really changed it up to try to vary things with D. Gordon at first base.
One and two. Has a better lead. And Williams throw. Williams picked him off in the middle of his motion going up. And in talking to Brett Butler, the game plan with Williams was once he comes set, then increase the lead. Don't get caught on the way up with the quick feet.
Some guys, that's their best move.
There it is.
Like that. And then once they get set, they're not as quick. As they say in the World Series of Poker, everybody has their tell.
Prado keeps fighting off pitch after pitch.
And that's the art of stealing bases. There's so much involved. There's number one, getting on base. Number two, stepping off that lead. And then reading the pitchers with the help of a Brett Butler. Looking at video, seeing what their move looks like.
Butler's running, pitches in, and he's got it stolen easily.
That was a great jump, and he stepped off a nice lead, too. To perfection there. Boy, that was nice. And no chance for Carlos Ruiz. Now, with 2 strikes, even though the count's 2-2, I guarantee if Martin Prado gets a pitch that he feels he can drive the other way, he'll drive it the other way. He's seen a few changeups, actually, from Williams.
D. Gordon's 9th. You see Billy Hamilton leads the National League. Two and two. A lot of changeups to Prado in this at bat. And Prado pokes it over to that right side, moves the runner, but couldn't get it through the infield. That was a lot of the changeups ended up on the inside part. That a pitch on the outside part.
Yeah, you know, with nobody out, he would have done that and gotten the job done. Not what he wanted to do with 1 out, because now 2 outs, here comes Giancarlo.
Stanton went after a 3-0 slider and hit it hard on the ground to third. That was back in the first. We'll see how Williams approaches him. It's not a comfortable place for D. Gordon to be right now, and that's leading off third with Stanton up.
Stanton, since 2010, 17 home runs against the Phillies. Second on that list, Dan Uggla, 16.
Boy, Uggla did a number on the Braves, and it looks like Washington has received their wake-up call. The Nationals scored a ton of runs their last 3 games. They're scoreless against the Mets tonight. That's a strike. It counts 1-2.
That's
on Giancarlo.
Good pitching matchup at Citi Field. Max Scherzer and Matt Harvey.
Nationals knocked around Jacob deGrom last night. 1-2. 2 outs. And Stanton swings and misses. And had a breaking ball. Still 1-0 Miami. Kohler looks quite good over his first 3 innings. He's retired all 9 he's faced. He's run into some trouble second time through. He was able to bust through all of those barriers his last time out. Kohler.
Yeah, and excuse me, Rich, the one that really stands out when you look at that second time around was that outing in New York against the Mets. The Mets put up a 7 spot, got 6 hits off Tom Kohler. But he actually admitted after the game that somehow he got through the first 3 innings without the best command and stuff.
Right, he felt he was missing his spots. He didn't feel comfortable.
And it just kind of all came crashing down in the 4th inning.
Ben Revere pulls it foul. Revere will turn 27 in a couple of days. Boy, a nice Friday night to be out at the Budweiser bar. Roof is open. Rolling windows are open as night settles over Miami. There's a moon over Miami.
Boy, that's gorgeous. I just noticed that. I looked up and there it is. Beautiful.
That's what it looked like to Danny Echeverria last week when he was hitting well over 400. Nationals without Denard Span tonight. That abdominal muscle is sore. He's getting the night off. He may get a couple of nights off.
He's been hot too. Now Ben Revere is a guy that's had a little success against Tom Kohler. He's 0 for 1 tonight, so 8 for his last 17 against TK.
Joe Frizzaro reporting on MLB.com that Christian Yelich is expected to play in a rehab game on Sunday. Henderson Alvarez could be back middle of May. He throws another bullpen session on Saturday. That's a quality at bat from Ben Revere. And the first hit for the Phils, a leadoff hit here in the 4th.
They got to be careful too. Revere with 5 stolen bases. 49 steals last year for the Phillies.
Here's Odubel Herrera. And Revere's a threat to run. He's swiped 5 bags and been caught twice. Herrera has a real fun batting stance, doesn't he?
It's a movable. There's a lot of moving parts. We kind of pointed it out in Philly. He starts with that front leg.
And look at how that front foot is bent inward. Kohler chases Revere back.
So Herrera, not a big guy, but he covers a good portion of the batter's box.
And of course, that's all the setup. Once the swing starts, the foot goes up and the stance goes back almost to normal. Runner goes, hit and run, executed perfectly. Herrera cracks it into right, and Revere is already at third base. Ryne Sandberg has shown he's going to have to do this to get some runs and get some offense going, and that's put the game in motion.
Well, you have to take a choice. Who's going to cover, second baseman or shortstop? In this case, the Marlins decide to have D. Gordon cover, and it leaves that hole open, and Herrera finds it. So you're right. Sandberg knows that his offense has really struggled, and because they've struggled, they're going to have to put on plays like that.
So here is Utley. Miami will give up a run for a shot at 2. That means Echeverria and Gordon up the middle are back. Prado's off the bag, and He's probably headed to second as well. Utley cranks one right field and deep. Stanton back, and it's gone. And the Phillies strike for 3 in the blink of an eye.
And the real sad part, we just pointed out that the struggles for Tom Koehler have been second time around. Bang, bang, boom, just like that. 3 runs for Philadelphia. Chase Utley playing in his 1,500th career game. That's 11th most in Philadelphia history.
Just a short, compact swing. No real big follow through.
So now's the time. Tom Koehler has to put it together right now because he's had this issue before. He can't let it continue.
Utley's 3rd of the season. Ryan Howard, the 0-1. For many years, it seems like we've always talked about guys like Utley and Howard and how they've done in their career. And their careers against Miami have enough games to constitute just about a season's worth of games. And in his career, Utley now has 30 homers against Miami and 125 RBI. Mm. Three and one. Chuck Hernandez watching.
You have a guy like Ryan Howard who's hit 38 career home runs against the Marlins.
This is game number 153 for Howard, and he fouls it off. Utley, a little more than one season. Utley now at 171.
Well, it was a Mets second baseman, Daniel Murphy, who was struggling. Hit a big 3-run homer. A struggling Phillies second baseman hits a 3-run shot.
And Howard walks. And that theme, the 3-run shot, you go back to the Mets series. Remember, up in New York as Chuck Hernandez trots out. Up in New York, that 3-run homer by Wilmer Flores was costly. Flores had a 2-run homer as well in that series. And Ruben Tejada had a 3-run double. South Florida Honda dealers, get you ready for tomorrow. 3:30 start, 4 o'clock game time. Marlins and Phillies. It's University of Miami Day at Marlins Park. They expect just about 20,000 University of Miami alums and representatives. They'll be watching Cole Hamels. Grady Sizemore. Koehler retired the first 9 he's faced. The last 4 he hasn't. Singles by Revere and Herrera, and a 3-run homer by Utley. A walk to Howard. Sizemore pops it up.
In these situations with Tom Koehler, it always appears it's more command than stuff. Stuff's usually there. He doesn't lose his stuff. It's the command that kind of wavers.
One and two.
A couple of good fastballs that Sizemore couldn't catch up to.
Boy, isn't that the question with a guy like Sizemore or even Utley or Howard? Trying to figure out if they're in a slump or if they're in a great decline. And that's always been tough for talent evaluators, general managers. Guy that's 34, 35, 36, all of a sudden they're off to a slow start. They get 3 weeks into a season, 4 weeks in, and they're not hitting. Sizemore yanks it into right field. And Kohler has yet to retire a hitter here in the 4th. And Miami's bullpen all of a sudden has some activity.
Well, he couldn't catch up to fastballs, and then the slider out over the plate. Didn't have that backdoor angle, didn't have the down and in. And Grady Sizemore continues the base runners for the Phillies.
Cody Ashe flied to left, and he takes a strike. One and one. Ashe pulls it foul. You were talking about the matchup between the Nationals and the Mets. Mets have a new third baseman. Daniel Murphy's moved over to play third. Dilson Herrera has been called up, and he is at second.
I know they're hoping to get David Wright back in a week or so.
Michael Kadire has homered for the only run of that game, and the Mets lead the Nationals 1-0 bottom 4. Here it was 1-0 Miami, but the Phillies have risen up, scored 3 times, and are threatening still. Runners first and second, nobody out. Ashe against Kohler. Brad Hand trying to get loose as fast as he can in Miami's bullpen.
Boy, and it was such a breeze those first 3 innings, and look at that, 27 pitches already this inning, and Tom Kohler has yet to record an out.
You know, the funny thing is the Marlins have won 7 of their last 8. If you want to go one more game back, it was the Jerome Williams start in Philly, and the Phillies beat the Marlins 7-3. After that, Miami won the next 2 games of that series before coming home. 6-1 and 9-1. And down goes Ashe. That's a big out to get for Kohler if he plans to pitch any further in this ball game. You can get the best seats at Marlins Park in 2015 with a variety of new season ticket packages, prorated full season, half season, 20-game mini plans, and the new 10-game pack. Plans start at just $240. Secure your seats today. 1-877-MARLINS. Go to marlins.com/2015 tickets. Carlos Ruiz pitches up, and it is 1-0. And new this year, if you have one of those season ticket plans, even the 20 or the 10, you can get in to see Marlins batting practice. 4:30.
See a lot of people really enjoying that too.
Yes, 4:30. Now this doesn't happen around baseball much at all. Gates normally open in baseball an hour and a half before first pitch, so the home team is just finishing batting practice. Ichiro's fun to watch in BP. Obviously Morse and Stanton have the gun show going. Kohler's gone 3-0 on Carlos Ruiz.
And he's teetering on staying in this game. Because if you're Mike Redmond, you just can't allow this to continue and have the Phillies put together a really big inning.
And put the game out of reach. You're right. There's a strike, and it's 3-1. Just barely. 3-1 coming. And he missed, and they're loaded. Now a decision to make. Kohler's wobbling. Bags are loaded, and there's one out. You've got Galvis, a switch hitter, and then the pitcher spot, Williams. Hand is ready.
The only thing that may be keeping him in right now is the fact that because Galvis is a switch hitter, against lefties, he's 7 for 12 this year.
Kohler needs a ground ball. Galvis swings and misses. Tom Kohler pitching to stay in this ball game. 3-1 Phillies here in the fourth. And he's out in front, 0-2.
Good changeup. The Phillies this year, coming into tonight, have had just 9 plate appearances with the bases loaded this season.
That's amazing.
What's even more amazing is they're tied with San Diego in that category.
One and two, a Philly at every base with 1 out. And he swings and misses at a breaking ball in the dirt. Big out for Kohler. 1 more to get out of the inning.
Well, by getting ahead, he gets a wild swinger to chase that breaking ball. Huge for the strikeout. Now he gets to go after Williams, the pitcher.
Williams is 0 for 7 on the season. Oh, up and in, bounces back. Real Muto to the plate. Kohler's tag out at the plate. That one might be reviewed. Ryan Sandberg's on his way out. Kohler with the tag. And the Phillies, there's our first look. They're probably watching the same replay we are.
Well, keep in mind, Ryan Howard is the runner. The throw and everything is there before Howard gets there. It's whether the tag, which pitchers aren't that accustomed to putting down tags. Now, does the tag get Howard before that hand is on the plate? I'm not sure.
Well, the question is, does it clip that right hand? Howard tried to pull it back. I haven't seen definitively yet. Ooh, wow, that's close. This might be the telling view. I don't think he tagged him, Tommy, from that view.
It looks like his left hand was able to get on the plate because he pulled that right hand back. And it has been challenged by Sandberg. Ryan Sandberg, the Hall of Famer.
Challenge brought to you by Chrysler. That was actually a pretty good amount of time before the Phillies decided whether to challenge or not.
Boy, it sure is an awkward looking slide from Ryan Howard, who hesitated a little bit on the wild pitch thrown by Tom Kohler.
I think Miami's only hope here is if there's not enough conclusive evidence.
The other thing, too, a catcher, another infielder, they're a little more nimble in knowing how to receive a throw, put a tag on somebody. Pitchers just don't do that all that often.
Now, the word that we have, and it's confusing to me, is that the Phillies are challenging on 2 levels. That Kohler was blocking the plate and that he didn't tag him. I don't think he was blocking the plate.
Don't even go there with me, because he's just trying to catch the ball and tag the runner.
Understood.
He's not thinking of blocking the plate.
And that's why I'm confused, because he didn't look like he was. That's just a preliminary word we've heard. We'll try to get confirmation on that. Kohler and Howard watch.
He's catching the ball. He's doing everything he can just to catch the ball and put a tag down. Trust me, a pitcher isn't thinking about blocking the plate.
No, he clearly was not even in front of the plate, so I think that one's dismissed out of hand right away.
But it's taken the fellas back in New York a little time.
Yeah, well, look, we looked at, what, 4 replays before that last view, which appeared, and here are the umpires. He's out. How about that?
Wow.
Now, whether the call stands. So that means there was not enough evidence to overturn. Call confirmed means there was to call him out. Call stands means not enough evidence. The Marlins may have dodged the bullet there. It's 3-1. Phillies. Try the new meatball sub. Pick yours. 2 for $5. Well, in Miami tonight, the Phillies have risen up and lead at 3-1. It was almost 4-1. This, the look where it appears Kohler didn't tag that right hand before Howard swiped with the left. And the ruling from New York is call stands. They didn't see enough definitive evidence to overturn the call at the plate, which was out.
And kudos also to JT Realmuto, getting back there, scrambling back there on the wild pitch, getting the ball and giving the feed, the toss to Tom Kohler.
Marcell Ozuna, Michael Morse, and Realmuto in the 4th. Jerome Williams misses in, and it's 3-0. Oh, this is the guy that beat the Marlins in that 3-game set in Philly. Marlins won the last 2 games of the series, but they couldn't beat Williams. And he would go out after that start and beat Atlanta 5-4 and give up just 3 runs in the process.
Yeah, he pitched another good game against the Braves.
Ozuna pulls one foul. Ozuna doubled down the right field line in the 2nd, moved up on a Morse ground ball and scored on Realmuto's sacrifice fly.
Right now, Rich, I think if you're the Marlins, you have to feel really good about just allowing the 3 runs.
Ozuna center field, hits it well. Herrera back, got no chance. One hops the wall. Marcell Ozuna in 2 at-bats, showing why he's a tough guy to pitch to. His double in the 2nd was down the right field line. His double here in the 4th, straightaway center.
Boy, this ball jumped off the bat of Marcell Ozuna, getting over the head of Herrera in center field. 2 for 2, 2 doubles. It looks like Ozuna's starting to get locked in. Herrera couldn't chase it down.
Remember, Herrera hasn't played a lot of center field at all in his career, and he's trying to learn the position in the big leagues. He did not have a great route to that. I don't think he gets it with a good route, but something to keep in mind, because he's in a ballpark that can really expose a center fielder, whereas in Philadelphia the gaps are quite narrow. He had trouble on a ball, remember.
Yeah, D. Gordon hit a ball out to deep center field in Philly.
He got turned around and never made the play. So Morse with the count 0-1. Ozuna at second. And right now Morse searching for it.
Yeah, he is. Michael Morse 3 for his last 21. He gets some good pitches and seems to foul them off. Hasn't gotten that timing right down yet.
Ball in the dirt. One and two. Marlins box score: D. Gordon a bunt single, Ozuna a couple doubles, Ichiro a line drive to left. It's foul back and out of play.
I think it's essential. The Marlins, obviously, you'd like to have a big inning, take the lead, but I think essential to get just one run back anyway, especially with a leadoff double, to make it a one-run game.
1-2 to Morse. Chase Utley with a 3-run homer. And the Phillies up 3-1. Morse a sharp grounder to short. Kick there by Galvis. And Galvis, using sure-handed defensively, may have had more time than he thought. Morse not a speedster by any stretch.
Yeah, he absolutely did. This is something you have to know as an infielder, the speed of the runner. That's the 20th error that the Phillies have committed. Watch how he tries to pick it up. Pick it up with your bare hand. You're taught that as a kid. The Marlins have committed 6. That was number 20 for the Phillies.
So the door's open. Here's Real Muto. You got Ichiro and Echeverria after that. Real Muto, right center. Herrera races over. Both runners tag up. Ozuna's on his way to third, and he'll get there on a fly ball out, and that brings up Ichiro.
Couple of productive fly ball outs. JT Real Muto sacked fly back in the second inning and was able to advance Ozuna with that fly ball.
So here is Ichiro, who lined a single into left center field in the second. Of course, he had the big 3-run homer in a dramatic moment on Wednesday. And you wonder if the regular at-bats that he's getting, and obviously since Christian Yelich went on the disabled list, Ichiro now has 35 at-bats, and he's 11 for 35. It seems like the contact is much better, and Ichiro is driving the ball. Yelich and Jeff Mathis both on the disabled list. That right side is open. Howard is holding Morse.
And you know Ichiro has a plan. One out.
1-0. And he would try to yank it.
Yeah, his plan right there was to find that hole over on the right side. Got to pitch inside.
Williams 65 pitches in. And he is pounding Ichiro in. That's the we've seen pitchers who are afraid of Ichiro, in Mike Redmond's terms, of filleting the ball into left field, have pounded him in, and so all of a sudden he started to turn on some of those pitches.
Started to open up, turn on a few.
Major league average of that spot at third and less than 2 outs is right around 50%. And now Williams has put himself in a 3-1 hole.
Hey, you don't amass all the hits Ichiro has amassed without having a plan when you go up there.
And Danny Echeverria, one of Miami's hotter hitters, is on deck. See what he gets. 3-1. There's a bouncer to second. Utley starts it. Galvis finishes it. And Ichiro bounces to a 4-6-3 double play. And Miami's fourth goes up in smoke. 4 innings in Miami. 3-1 Phils.
Welcoming their charity partner, the Special Olympics, here in Florida tonight. And it's a great night. Some of the athletes are here as well. Mark Thompson, director, is with us. A nice check for you guys before the game. $25,000 from the Marlins Foundation. That'll go a long way, huh?
It will go a long way. But in addition to the funding that the Marlins are providing, they're providing on-field support for our competition events. The Marlins Volunteer Group is coming out for a lot of our events. It's just a great partnership.
There's a big event coming up. Is it in LA?
LA, the World Special Olympics World Games were in Greece, Athens, Greece 4 years ago. They're in Los Angeles this summer, and one of our athletes, Andy Miaris, is going to be representing Miami-Dade County swimming in Los Angeles.
Andy's right over here, 2 over from Mark. What kind of swimming event is it?
His best swimming event is the butterfly, but does several other events. But an amazing butterfly swimmer, world champion.
And not only that, it's an awesome night for everybody to come out, enjoy the ball game, and for a great cause. What will the money help do for you guys down here?
We have over 4,000 athletes in Miami-Dade County. It helps expand our program, and particularly the softball program.
Softball program's getting pretty big the way they put in play, huh?
It is, and we also have a unified component where partners without disabilities compete with our athletes with disabilities.
Great stuff. I know you enjoyed being on the field before the game, and thanks for all you do there. It's a great organization.
And it's a great baseball team on the field tonight.
You got it. Good luck, Andy, in L.A. Go get them. All right, back to you, Rich and Tom.
All right, thank you, Craig. Tom Kohler right now. 77 pitches into this in the top of the 5th. Down 3-1. Strikes out Jerome Williams gets Ben Revere and Odubel Herrera for the Phillies in the 5th.
What an important inning, to say the least, for Tom Kohler to come back after his 4th inning struggles, and a good start getting Williams.
Revere trying to bunt for a hit, and it's a strike. 0-1. Keeping an eye on other games in the National League, and in specific the Nationals and the Mets. That Max Scherzer, Matt Harvey game. Both teams have 4 hits. The Mets have the only run, a 1-0 lead in the top of the 6th for Harvey. To center, Ozuna squares up, makes the catch.
Keeping an eye on the Atlanta Braves hosting Cincinnati, and the league leading ERA pitchers on the mound for the Reds. Anthony DeSclafani,
who got knocked around a bit his last start.
And it's 2-0 Cincinnati in the 4th inning.
Cole Hamels going for the Phils. Dan Herron for the Fish. Although the Marlins have figured out a way to beat Hamels in his career.
Yeah, with Hamels, it's they have either figured out to beat Hamels, or they wear him down and end up winning the game and he gets a no decision. There have been a few of those too.
If you can outlast him and get to the bullpen. But, you know, one word of warning about facing the Phils. You don't want to get to the 8th or the 9th and be behind, because the back end of Phillies bullpen has some formidable arms.
Yeah, with Giles and Papelbon.
Yeah, so if you can avoid that, it would be best. Giles hasn't given up an earned run this year in 9 1/3 innings. Papelbon is 5 of 5 in saves, and his whip is 0.60. Odubel Herrera into the air. Echeverria makes the catch. And Kohler with a nice bounce back 5th. Halfway through, 3-1 Phils. Geico Major League moment. It's a Marlin moment tonight. 1993, the secret weapon. Rich Renteria's RBI single in the bottom of the 12th against the Rockies. First walk-off win. Jeff Conine involved in that play, as he was. I think Conine was involved in everything in 1993.
Yes, he was. You know, Rick Renteria, I thought, got a tough deal as manager of the Cubs when they let him go to hire Joe Madden. Renteria did a terrific job with that young club.
There it is. Jeff Conine scored the deciding run. Echeverria left field. And Jerome Williams back in that groove of 2 weeks ago when he beat the Marlins up in Philly 7-3.
And now Mike Redmond's going to the bench. Reed Brignac is going to pinch hit for Tom Kohler.
So Kohler's night lasts 5 innings. Brignac and then D. Gordon. And so Brad Hand will come out of the bullpen. Brignac pulls one into the seats.
Brignac dropped down a nice sacrifice bunt last night in the 7th inning that eventually led to a run.
Brignac has that fun Cajun accent. If you heard him on Marlins Live talking about his favorite superhero, which was Superman. Figured it might be the Swamp Thing or something.
Yeah.
Craig, you have more?
Well, Rich, he was so connected with Superman. He actually went around as Soup. That was his nickname. Everybody called him Soup because of his connection with Superman. So he takes that hero thing a step further than most.
He's a 2-2 count here. And it's out. So the count 3-2.
Spent the last part of last season with this Philadelphia club. Made some good friends on the Phillies.
Of course, had a nice run with the Rays. Really fit in that Ray mold of sort of the Ben Zobrist Jr. Versatile guy that could play in different spots. Zobrist, of course, did it at an all-star level. Pitches out, and Brignac draws a walk. So Miami has a base runner. Now it's D. Gordon, who's 1 for 2. So tomorrow night is a 4:10 start. Marlins and Phillies. After the game, concert. It's Jake Miller, a rapper, local rapper out of Weston, and we had joked that he could ride to the game with Jeff Conine. Our research department has uncovered the fact that Jake Miller's dad is the ophthalmologist for Jeff Conine's kids. Ground ball in the hole. Galvis has it, and he's not going to get anywhere. It's a base hit for Gordon. Only shot was if he got Brignac at second.
And another 2-hit game for D. Gordon. A bunt single, an infield base hit, and a good jump by Brignac to keep Galvis from making that play. He knew he had to hustle, and you're right, that's the only shot he had of getting it out.
Galvis had a tough time. That's a really tough play, but he's had a tough time hanging on to the ball. He had an error where he dropped it twice in the 4th. Now Prado. The ground ball was Jerome Williams' best friend in the 4th. Ichiro bounced into a double play to end the inning and leave a runner at third. And Prado takes in. And a visit from Carlos Ruiz. And Williams has seen and done just about everything. Pitched in the minor leagues, some independent ball.
Yeah, there aren't many situations he's not been in.
It's kind of the Ryan Vogel song of the Phillies. And he misses. It's 2-0. Stanton looms large on deck with one out. Fox track shows you that was right on the edge. Prado up the middle into center field. That's a base hit. Brignac coming home. Gordon on his way to third. The throw safe. Just barely safe. That was an outstanding throw by Odubel Herrera that almost got D. Gordon. It's 3-2.
Boy, this is just great hitting, and it also tells you the kind of speed D. Gordon has. Brignac scores easily. There aren't many runners that go first to third on this because it was charged well by Herrera. He comes up, makes a perfect throw, and D. Gordon still beats the throw to third. There's Brignac coming in to score, but the play at third was closer than I thought, but the speed of Gordon beat it.
So Prado with an RBI hit. Now Stanton. Stanton bounced to third in the first. Williams struck him out in the third. It's in. And it's 1-0. Toyota trend. Stanton homering at home. Obviously a decided advantage. Same spot. And it's 2-0. You look at the runs per game. And of course, the Marlins over 500. He's got a 2-0 pitch to hit here. Stanton, a bullet to left. It's going to get to the wall. Gordon will score. Prado to third. Stanton to second. This game is tied. My goodness.
Tell you what, we marvel at some of the home runs that Giancarlo hits. His extra base hits and even sometimes singles are just as impressive. You and I were talking to Larry Boa down on the field, and he was talking about the home run that Stanton rocketed out of Citizens Bank in Philadelphia last week. That was just as hard. He just didn't get the elevation.
114 miles an hour off the bat. Tom Kohler knows that if the Marlins push across another run, he could actually be in line for a win. He's off the hook for a loss. Phillies bullpen is scrambling. This is what a 2-0 swing is supposed to look like.
And it is solid and compact. Wow.
Bob McClure, Phillies pitching coach, just paying a visit to the mound. And let's see how the Phillies play this. They're going to walk Ozuna and pitch to Morse.
Well, Ozuna's had two really good at bats, two doubles.
Morse has hit two ground balls to short. So they're loaded. And Morse gets his third shot at Jerome Williams. A Marlin at every base. And a 3-3 ball game. It's a perfect pitch outside corner.
Michael Morse in his career 1 for 8 against Jerome Williams.
Phillies looking for a ground ball. Infield on all 4 spots is back. One coming. And it's 1-2. One-two coming. It's out. Miami has scored twice here in the 5th to tie the game at 3. Prado, Stanton, Ozuna. Just waiting for contact here. Morse fouls it back.
Williams has gone in and out. See if he tries that or goes up.
Swing and a miss, and Morse strikes out. And that's why the Phillies walked Ozuna. It's up to Real Muto.
He went up. Good fastball, good pitch to hit out over the plate.
Two fly balls from Real Muto, one a sac fly, the other an out. High chopper cut off by Ashe across the diamond in time, and Williams avoids further damage, but Miami ties the game, and it's 3-3. Teams have had opportunities to add on. The Marlins, bases loaded, one out. The strikeout by Jerome Williams of Michael Morse, and then he got JT Real Muto to bounce out. Remember, Phillies had their 4th run coming home when Ryan Howard was tagged out at the plate by Tom Kohler.
Boy, and it's been a while for Brad Hand, Rich. Last time for Brad Hand was on the 19th of April in New York. A couple of innings out of the bullpen, gave up a hit, no runs. So the left-hander has not had a lot of activity. His longest outing of the year was his first outing, second day of the season. 4 1/3 innings, gave up a hit to the Braves. Threw the ball really well.
And who knows, he may be needed in the rotation if Matt Latos and his hamstring don't make some progress here over the next few days. Latos strained the left hamstring in his start on Wednesday night.
And I think the appropriate term was strain. It was not a tear or anything like that. So hopefully not too serious.
Chase Utley provided the Phillies with their 3 runs with a homer to right. That was in the 4th, an inning that Tom Kohler barely survived.
You know, we told you a couple of innings ago Ryan Howard had never homered at Marlins Park. That was Chase Utley's first home run here.
Ryan Howard's on deck. Grady Sizemore to follow. It's a perfect time to bring Hand in. And here's Utley, our H.H. Gregg high-def highlights.
Yeah, you're right about that choppy swing. He's always had that swing. Doesn't have that what you describe usually as a beautiful left-handed fluid swing. But he has gotten the job done and done it very well for a long time.
Utley lifts that one in the air, left center. Ozuna glides in and makes the catch. It's funny because Hand was up in the 4th, and the thinking there is, well, if this inning continues to deteriorate, you need somebody to not only finish the inning but pitch the next maybe 3 innings. Chuck Hernandez and Mike Redmond having to go through all the scenarios. Then there's that play at the plate. It's reviewed. Howard, it was ruled by the umpires in New York there was not enough definitive evidence to overturn the out call at the plate, although Howard did a nice swim move with his hands, and from that last look it appeared like the glove didn't catch that right hand when the left hand went in and tagged the plate. But you got to have definitive evidence.
Come on, Rich, nobody can do the swim move like Giancarlo Stanton.
That's true. So anyways, Kohler gets the next 3 outs of the 5th, and here's Hand in the 6th, and it may be for only an inning rather than 3. But it comes at a great time because it's all lined up with left-handed hitters. Utley, he strikes out Howard, and now he's got Grady Sizemore.
I'll tell you what, if he throws the way he has thrown to Utley and Howard, it doesn't matter lefties or righties. Right now he's throwing the ball really well. Threw that fastball by Ryan Howard.
Because the Marlins had such a nice inning offensively, Hand is due up 3rd in the 6th inning. Boy, he is throwing well, 95 miles an hour.
He's got a little life on it. He's had a lot of rest.
Coors Light cold hard fact, opening day ages for the Phillies and the Marlins. Marlins 12th youngest this year. To left, Ichiro is there, and he makes the catch. Brad Hand looks terrific, and he goes 1, 2, 3 in what probably will be his lone inning. Tomorrow, Major League Baseball on Fox Sports 1 continues. Another doubleheader out west, interleague, Angels and Giants, followed by the Reds and the Braves. Coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern. You're home for baseball every Saturday, Fox Sports 1. And it'll stream live on Fox Sports Go. Genmar Gomez is out of the Phillies bullpen.
Yeah, he's been pretty much a one-inning guy, 9 appearances, 9 innings. Saw him last year with the Pittsburgh Pirates, 44 appearances as a Pirate last year for Gomez.
Ichiro is singled. He bounced into a double play that ended the 4th, and that came with runners at the corners. That was a big double play for Jerome Williams.
You and I were talking about something between innings that obviously is going through Mike Redmond's mind right now. He has to plan ahead if the Marlins get something going to maybe pinch hit in the pitcher spot. Pitcher hits 3rd in this inning. On the other hand, if no one were to get on base.
Ichiro, diving try. Did he hold it? I think so. Ben Revere shows it. There was a lot of ball showing. And the Marlins are going to look at it. Here's a look.
This is a definitive look right here.
Oh. Now the question is, did the ball hit the turf when it first popped loose? Right?
Wow. Or does he cup the glove enough underneath to keep it from hitting the turf?
Wow. Wow. That is something. No challenge. That's an incredible catch and an amazing look with replay. And it looked like the ball stayed off the turf the entire tour of the glove.
So as to our conversation, it looks like Mike Redmond's going to go ahead with a pinch hitter. He has Donovan Solano in the on-deck circle.
Echeverria in the left field. That's a base hit.
And a moot point with a man on base now.
It's funny. We tried to get that in, and then Ichiro hits a ball that's bobbled and left. They had to suspend that talk, and then resumed the predicament for Redmond, and Echeverria ended it with a base hit to left.
And now with the man on first base, it's going to be Justin Bour and not Solano.
Bour has had an outstanding start to his year, both as a starter and as a pinch hitter. AJ Ramos in Miami's bullpen.
Now Bob McClure out there just to probably go over the scouting report a little bit on Bour, who struggled mightily last year pinch hitting, a role that he just wasn't used to. What a nice job by Brad Hand. 1, 2, 3, and was throwing the ball extremely well. But Justin Bour, 3 for 3 as a pinch hitter and 5 for 6 since joining the ball club.
That's a nice start. Both starters go just 5 innings in this ball game. Tom Kohler and Jerome Williams. Brad Hand a perfect 6th. Genmar Gomez with Echeverria at first, who has a pretty healthy lead. Bour swings and misses. Big, strong, no batting gloves.
Who'd you say his famous superhero was? Favorite?
The Hulk, because he's big and misunderstood.
Misunderstood, just like me.
They've stayed away from him in the first 2 pitches. Echeverria leaning. Bohr pokes it down the third base line, and it's a hit. And Echeverria's racing for third. He'll hold there. Justin Bohr is 6 for 7 to start the year. A double, a pinch hit double, has set Miami up 2nd and 3rd with 1 out.
You know, he's aggressive. He's going to hack. That pitch was up. It was in his eyes, out over the plate. They were playing him off the line. And he's now 4 for 4 as a pinch hitter.
Now Gordon. Phillies infield is in, and they're going to intentionally walk Gordon to get to Prado, who does hit some ground balls. And of course, Gordon, with 2 more hits tonight, leads Major League Baseball in hits, leads the National League in hitting.
Pete Gordon with 40 base hits. And a batting average of .417.
Marcelo Zuna with some last-minute encouragement for Prado. And of course, Prado had a nice hit, a line drive single to drive in a run in Miami's 2-run rally in the 5th to tie it at 3.
Scary part about this, when you do this, if you're the Phillies, it gets you closer to Giancarlo Stanton too.
There's nobody throwing in the Phillies bullpen.
Because if they don't get Prado to hit into a double play, they have to face Stanton here in this inning.
Well, Prado twice has bounced to 2nd in the 1st and in the 3rd. His RBI single was a line drive back up the box and into center in the 5th. Brian Sandberg rolling the dice. It's only the 3rd career intentional walk for D. Gordon. And here's Prado, bags loaded again. Gomez misses low. Prado is a contact hitter. Does not walk a lot. He's walked just 4 times in 86 at-bats. And it's 2-0.
And all of a sudden, Martin Prado knows this as well as anybody. All of a sudden in this situation, 2-0, bases loaded, no place for Gomez to put Prado. The pressure is on Genmar Gomez, the pitcher.
He hit a 2-0 pitch into center his last time up.
Boy, a 2-0 breaking ball.
And it gets in there for a strike. Phillies hoping for a ground ball. Miami looking for a base hit. In a 3-3 tie in the bottom of the 6th. Genmar Gomez. Prado's bouncer to 3rd. Ashe out there. Utley's turn. He is out at 1st. Howard falling over. Made the catch. The Marlins will review it. I think Howard held it. The question is whether the foot stayed on long enough. But the Phillies got exactly what they wanted. Well, from that view, it looks like his foot was on.
Yeah, he didn't come off, it appeared, until after he caught the ball.
And the Phillies pitch around it. It's still 3-3. a Marlins Flashback Friday. It's brought to you by Jeep. Tonight, post the best vintage Marlins photo of yourself and use the hashtag #FlashbackMarlins. And we'll select the best photo and feature it in the post-game show.
Boy, it's been a crazy game. A lot of close plays, a couple of challenges, some almost challenges.
A.J. Ramos arrives. Kobayashi.
And a game, Rich, where the Marlins have had opportunities. It's a 3-3 game. The Marlins could very easily have a 3 or 4 run lead in this game.
2 double play balls key for the Phillies. Mike Redmond, Chuck Hernandez, Martin Prado to end the 6th. Remember, Ichiro had a double play ball that wiped out a run and ended the 4th. And then you go back to the 5th. Mike Morse, with the bases loaded and 1 out, struck out against Jerome Williams. You see Luis Garcia in the pen. Real Muto bounced out. The Marlins left the bags loaded there. You get a sense there's a lot of baseball left in this one. And as we noted, the back end of the Phillies pen, Giles and Papelbon, really, really good. That's the strength of this team. Phillies starting pitching has struggled this year. They've not scored a lot of runs. But if they can get the game to the 8th or the 9th with the lead, those 2 guys will bring it home. Not those 2 guys. Jeff Francoeur on the bench. 1-2. Little tapper up the line. So far it stays fair, and Morse didn't go get it in time, and it's foul. That's something that Mike Morse is not a real experienced first baseman. Mike Redmond's coming out for a quick chat. Tommy, you were a former Philly first baseman.
Well, you have to make 2 quick decisions. You have to decide, number one, if it's going to stay fair, you can stay where Moore stayed. Then you have to decide, if I go get it, can I get it and tag the runner before he gets to the bag? It looked like he had time to do that.
What Mike Redmond is talking about right now is who made that call. If the ball is caught before first base, it's the home plate umpire's call. If it's beyond first base, it's the first base umpire's call. Let's watch and see what Brian Onora does. And let's see where he catches the ball. It's clearly in front of the bag, right?
It's in front of the bag, and it looks like that last hop's in foul territory.
This is going on a lot longer than you expect. You can see Onora is becoming more animated.
But Mike Redmond has a good point.
If Onora is screened on the play, I believe he can defer to the base umpire. Whether he was or not, I don't know. Let's see if in a replay we can see where Onora was. Yeah, he's not in the best spot to make that call.
Because the ball was on the outer side, the foul side.
And he was on the inside. And so A.J. Ramos says, you know what, after about a 2.5-minute delay, I'm just going to pump across 93 miles an hour and get the strikeout.
Yeah, let's forget about all this. Let me just put him away.
It would have been better if A.J. had come up and interrupted the 2 and say, look, guys, I'll handle this, all right? There's the fastball for a strike. And here's Carlos Ruiz. And Ramos gets a strike there. That Mets Nationals game is into the 8th, and it's still 1-0 Mets on top.
Harvey went 7. Matt Harvey, 7 innings, 5 hits, no runs, 3 strikeouts. Alex Torres and now Juris Familia in the game.
And Max Scherzer's still in there. 7 innings, 10 strikeouts for Scherzer. And he walked 1. Here, 18,511. Watching Miami and Philly open up a weekend series. Atlanta, by the way, as you see the last 2 pitches. Atlanta, a 4-3 lead over Cincinnati in the 6th in Atlanta. That's in, and Ruiz walks. And it was in.
Just off the plate.
Ramos has pitched to a 1.42 ERA. This is his 12th appearance. And that just his 5th walk. And a visit from Real Muto. Marlins.com, your one-stop shop. Breaking news, tickets, sweepstakes, merchandise, and more. Free Marlins email or text alerts as well. Discounts, all of that. Marlins.com, your place to go. Become an insider. Ramos with a breaking ball, trying to get himself back in a groove.
You know, AJ has such a good assortment of pitches. There are times when if he struggles, maybe throwing the fastball for a strike, he can go to another pitch. Some pitchers can't do that, especially relievers. He can struggle with a fastball and all of a sudden put away a hitter with a couple of good changeups.
Well, they said he went. And so Galvis sees the count go to 1-2. Ruiz the runner at first, 1 out. This one Ramos collects, and Morris is waiting at the bag. Phillies now with a chance to get a runner in scoring position. And Ryan Sandberg will pinch hit here.
It's like Cesar Hernandez.
Switch hitter. Got Jeff Francoeur sitting on that bench. Darren Ruff.
Got some good right-handed bats over there.
Cameron Rupp.
Rupp and Ruff and Frenchie.
Andres Blanco is also on the bench. 5-man bench for the Phils.
Hernandez 2 for 8 as a pinch hitter this year.
Outfield's not real deep. Here's the 1-1. In the air to right, Stanton is there. He's on it, and he makes the catch. And Ramos gets through a scoreless 7th inning stretch in Miami. 3-3.
in the bullpen session yesterday, 15 pitches. He says the good news is it's always the next day, and he feels great. We talked to him today about it.
Well, I don't feel like it was an off day yesterday, so that's pretty good. Yeah, I don't feel anything. And pretty normal. I mean, I expected. I say, eventually I'm gonna have to feel something. I mean, that's everybody does.
Yeah.
But it hasn't happened yet, so let's.
Not gonna win again. Next up for him is a simulation game that'll be coming up either Sunday or Monday. Henderson Alvarez has actually picked out a date. If everything goes well for him, he's looking at May 17th, Atlanta Braves. It's a Sunday afternoon game here, guys.
All right, thank you, Craig. Luis Garcia into the ballgame for the Phils. Bottom 7, 3-3. Giancarlo Stanton at the plate, and a 1-0 pitch coming. Stanton takes on the outside corner. It's a ball and a strike.
Phillies have the big shift on with Stanton up there.
RBI double in the 5th for Stanton on a 1-for-3 night. He's driven in 22 this year. That's another rocket. Ashe just gets it in the webbing of his glove, throws across, and Howard picks it. Man, that's a loud out. That, as a third baseman, you're happy it's not hit right at you, that you can reach for it.
Boy, just some rockets, that one on the ground, but Ashe stayed with it, and so did Brian Howard. By the way, I loved one of the quotes of Jose's after he threw. He said it was competing and it felt really fantastic.
Marcell Ozuna has doubled twice, was intentionally walked. Well, Jose certainly knows how Homer Bailey feels. The Reds announcing that he was going to undergo Tommy John surgery, expected to return next year. So a tough break.
Well, this was about
Cincinnati.
This was about the time in May for Jose. After that game in San Diego. It's amazing. Marcell Ozuna has had four games in his career where he's had 2 doubles. 3 of the 4 have been against the Phillies.
High chopper. Ashe stays on his feet, and that is safe at first. Howard came off the bag. I think Ozuna's going to get a hit. He does. Howard is not the most nimble of first basemen around the bag.
It's a really good effort by Cody Ashe. And I think Howard came off because the throw pulled him that way. I don't know if he could have stayed on the bag and picked it. It's the 33rd infield base hit for the Marlins this year. They lead the major leagues. Of course, D. Gordon has 13.
Michael Morse now 0 for 3 tonight. So Ozuna's a 3 for 3 night. Morse shoots it foul to the right side. Mike Dunn in Miami's pen. Garcia into Morse. Realmuto follows Morse. Miami has left 8 on base and is 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position.
Boy, a live fastball there from Garcia, 97.
96 miles an hour in. Ozuna at first. 2-2 coming. And down goes Morse. It's been a frustrating run for Michael Morse.
I tell you what, if Justin Moore continues to swing the bat the way he has, he may see a little more playing time. Now, left-hander tomorrow and Cole Hamels. Morse will be out there. He needs to straighten things out. The Marlins need him to straighten things out.
Real Muto. With Ichiro on deck. JT drove in a run with a sacrifice fly in the second. Was flied out and bounced out. When the Marlins saw the Phillies in Philadelphia, the fish were reeling. In fact, after that first game in Philly, Miami had lost 5 in a row. They were 3-11. And here is Miami at 10-12, having won 7 of their last 8. And they meet again here tonight, first of 3. 2-0. Man, for a guy that throws 97, Garcia a little reluctant to throw that fastball to Real Muto.
Well, if they get him in line, that just enhances that back end of the bullpen that we've been talking about.
Into right. And Sizemore is there to make the catch. 7 innings done. 3-3.
First home run at Marlins Park, a 3-run shot in the 4th inning after back-to-back singles. That made it 3-0 Philadelphia. Real Muto had hit a sac fly. The Marlins had a run in the 5th inning. They pick up another run on the base hit off the bat of Martin Prado, right back up the middle. That made it 3-2. And then Giancarlo Stanton with a rocket, a double into the corner, ties the game at 3-3 for Stanton. RBI number 22 on the year.
There's your line score. A dozen hits for Miami. We talked about the Marlins leaving runners on. They've left 9. They're 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position. As a result, it's 3-3. D. Gordon, a couple more hits, hitting streak at 7. Mike Dunn takes over. Brad Hand and A.J. Ramos were very good in relief of Tom Kohler, who went 5 and gave up 3 runs. This is Ben Revere. Mike Dunn misses away.
The Marlins tonight, Rich, 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position.
One-0 pitch. Out towards left. Ichiro patrolling there tonight. As advertised, you get to the late innings. I know the Phillies aren't up, but it's a tie game, and Ken Giles is the first up. He's been unscored upon this year. Jonathan Papelbon is right behind him.
Because of the nature of the games, the Marlins didn't have to face Papelbon in Philadelphia.
Well, even if the game is tied, it'll be interesting to see it, how Ryan Sandberg would play that bullpen. A long way to get till that bottom of the 9th. A lot of things could happen between now and then. Odubel Herrera, a hit and run single in the 4th on a 1-for-3 night. You know what makes his stance so much fun is not only is he stretched out with that right foot bent back, but when he takes a pitch or even when he swings, his back foot literally comes up off the ground.
You know, and as a Rule 5 guy, he had a lot of playing time in the minor leagues. Over 600 games in the minor leagues. And a .294 career hitter.
It's one of the things that organizations will do when they're rebuilding, because they have roster spots. They have opportunities to take a chance on a Rule 5 guy. Miami had it back in 2006 when they gave Dan Uggla a chance. That one fouled back.
There's the stance. Now he brings it back in. And the key is the timing and the softness of the landing of that front foot.
And getting that front foot down in time. Being early is what hitting coaches will call that. Don't be late. Tommy Hutton, as a card-carrying member of the Professional Hitters Guild, what happens when you are late?
Well, then everything drags. Everything becomes slower. The hands get slower. You don't get through the zone. We used to see it a lot with Hanley Ramirez, who has that leg kick. When his timing was just off, he'd foul off pretty good pitches.
His timing's pretty good this year.
Right now, it's pretty good this year.
Last check, what, he had 10 home runs?
Yeah, tied with Nelson Cruz.
Hanley is 0 for 3 tonight.
Seems like everyone Nelson Cruz has been hitting those about 480 feet.
Yeah, and that to do it in Seattle is pretty impressive. Seattle's getting beat by Houston again. Houston is 15-7. And Jose Altuve is only hitting .364. I'll tell you who's having a great start to the year. And he's homered tonight. Jake Marisnick, who's hitting .390, the former Marlin. Went to the Astros when the Marlins got Jared Cozart. Over and out.
Altuve, I was looking at some numbers today, has a 9-game hitting streak. He's had 8 consecutive multi-hit games. He leads the American League with 36 hits.
Here's the amazing thing about Houston. Tonight, they're 2, 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Valbuena, Springer, Gaddis, and Carter. 225, 195, 173, 156.
They are a team that's all or nothing. And if they fall, they'll fall hard, go into a losing streak.
Smack to right, Stanton in there. He makes the catch. It was hit well by Odubel Herrera. Here comes Chase Utley. And here comes Sunday, which for the Marlins and their fans, a fun day against the Phils. 1:10 start. Pepsi 4 for $74 pack is available. You get 4 tickets, 4 KMB Franks, 4 Pepsis for $74. Kids get a Bob the Shark plush doll, courtesy of Avianca Airlines. They can run the bases after the game in the Diamond Dash. Superhero night tonight.
Some nice superhero t-shirts.
Utley's homer was to right. It was a 3-run shot, and it really rocked Tom Kohler. On the ground. Tell you what, Marlins bullpen, Hand, Ramos, and now Dunn. Very, very nice. Pow! Now that's what I'm talking about, Tommy Hutton. That is, I think that is Batgirl. She's got the utility belt on. That was my favorite superhero growing up.
I can understand that, Rich.
All right, bring on the car. Chevron presents tomorrow's starters. Cole Hamels and Dan Herron. Hamels a very nice 3.19 ERA. Herron at 3.38. 6th start for Hamels. Marlins faced him and won that ball game in Philly, and that started their run of 8 games in which they've won 7. Hamels did not get a decision. He went 6 innings, gave up an unearned run. Here's Giles. Ichiro, a little tapper. Giles has it and gets to first in time to get Ichiro. 1 pitch, 2 hops, 1 out. MLB.com ballpark app, perfect complement. Your visit to Marlins Park, maps of the ballpark, menus, food from your seats, even access, and you can display your game tickets for entry into the ballpark. MLB ballpark app, MLB.com. Go get it today. Giles misses away.
This has been a big inning for the Marlins on this homestand, the 8th inning.
This is game 7 of the homestand. Echeverria takes a strike. And they've scored 10 runs in the 8th. Steve Cishek in Miami's bullpen. moment. Giles is just throwing heat. He's been the closer in waiting because everyone had expected the Phillies to trade Jonathan Papelbon last year, and I think that wait is still going on this year.
Tough assignment for any hitter. Jeff Baker awaits the on-deck circle. He'll pinch hit.
In Boston tonight, Alex Rodriguez has homered, and he has tied Willie Mays. What an interesting place for a Yankee to homer and tie the say-hey kid, especially.
And it was a pinch hit home run.
Especially Alex. His history with the Red Sox is a fascinating one. Who can forget Jason Varitek and A-Rod jawing at each other, and eventually that turning into a scrap. Echeverria with the full count, 3-2. Edge hits it a mile high and will stay within range of Herrera. And he makes a catch. That's an important home run too, because it gives the Yankees a 3-2 lead in the 8th. Jeff Baker now. This is a guy that you might see in the starting lineup tomorrow night against a left-hander, Cole Hamels.
Yeah, you could see him possibly in left field.
The hard part for Bake, obviously with the slow start for the ball club, it's tough for a manager to give guys a day off all at once, and Baker kind of the victim of that. Ground ball, base hit, left field, and Jeff Baker has himself a pinch hit, and that has to feel good.
Well, it's only his 6th at bat. He's had a few plate appearances. He's walked. But he is so happy it's the month of May. And he's also really happy this ball got through the left side of the infield. Base hit for Bake. Good for him. And I would agree. He's 4 for 13, by the way, in his career against Hamels, in case you're wondering that.
I think with a hit, that may have solidified things. Now, D. Gordon. Giles has thrown all of 10 pitches now. Gordon shoots one into center. Baker's going to turn second and head for third. And he'll get there. And so just like that, after 2 are out, back-to-back hits.
Just amazing for D. Gordon. It's his 6th 3-hit game already. A bunt single tonight, an infield single, and then he drills that one up the middle. That leads the major leagues, by the way. 6 3-hit games. That's more than Miguel Cabrera, who has 5.
With Martin Prado at the plate, Ryan Sandberg out for a visit. Gordon's only hitting .423.
I think part of that visit, too, is to, and when your manager's a former middle infielder, part of that visit is to, what are we going to do if D. Gordon takes off? What are we going to do with the throw? So part of that visit is to go over that strategy, too.
You don't have great speed on the second end of this first and third. Gordon obviously at first. Jeff Baker's at third. And here's Prado, who would love to atone for that double play in the 6th. He does have an RBI single tonight. Giles whistles in a fastball. We told you that Ken Giles has not allowed an earned run this season. 10 innings of work. 6 unearned runs, but not an earned run. He's out in front of Prado, 0-2.
I think if you're D. Gordon, you're thinking about going. This is when you go with the count 0-2.
Prado down the right field line and foul. That was just trying to stay in the at bat. Bottom 8, 3-3.
Boy, the pinch hitters have done a nice job tonight. Reed Brignac pinch hit in the 5th inning, walked, eventually came in to score. Justin Bohr a pinch hit double. And Jeff Baker with a pinch hit single.
Down goes Prado. Giles finishes Miami in the 8th. The Marlins leave 2 more. And this game goes to the 9th, tied at 3. Miami all lit up. 3-3 Phillies and Marlins in the 9th. First of 3 weekend series. Miami trying to stay hot. Have had ample opportunities. Careful there. And right now 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position. The Marlins have left 11 on. A frustrating night. Steve Cishek into the ball game. And it's Cishek's job to deliver this game to the bottom of the 9th. Still 3-3. He gets Ryan Howard, Grady Sizemore, and Cody Ashe, guys that can ride it out of this ballpark.
And 3 lefties.
Prado shifts over on that right side for Howard, who was 0 for 2 with a walk. Both of his 0-fers have been strikeouts. Oh, 0-2 to Howard. 4 homers, and remember, he had a big one to help beat the Marlins up in Philly. The only game the Phillies won in that 3-game set. Cishek misses down low. We talked about Cishek and his fastball velocity after the home run that Daniel Murphy knocked out of here in the Mets 3-1 win. Cishek addressing it after the night, saying essentially the same thing that we had observed. And in his career here as a Marlin, His velocity at the start of the season is never quite what it is midway through the season. It's kind of reversed from other guys. Some guys start out really strong and fade out. He just gets stronger and faster. Backdoor breaking ball. Morse is straddling the line and steps on the bag.
And by the way, speaking of that guy, Daniel Murphy, he had a double, 2 hits, and 3 RBIs in the Mets 4-0 win tonight against the Nationals.
On my way out of the ballpark on Wednesday night, I ran into Daniel Murphy, and we chatted briefly, and I told him that both you and I pegged him for about a 280 average the next time we saw him in late May.
Well, he's up to 212 and going 5-0 now. Matt Harvey, 5-0 with a 2.41 ERA.
Now Sizemore. Grady Sizemore takes a strike. He has singled, struck out, and lined out.
The Phillies have had just 1 base runner off the Marlins bullpen, and that was an A.J. Ramos walk in the 7th inning. That's it.
Sizemore, a 3-time All-Star, an incredible athlete in high school growing up in Everett, Washington. Was recruited to play quarterback at the University of Washington. Ended up signing with the Expos.
Wonder if he ever thinks, if he had continued on playing football, if he had been injured less. There's a lot of injuries in his baseball career.
Another guy in that state around that time was recruited to play quarterback at Washington State. Kyle Kendrick, a former Philly.
Now with the Rockies, I believe.
Their opening day starter this year.
Yeah.
It's out. And it's 2-2. Sizemore in his prime could do it all. Cishek misses out. He had a season of 38 stolen bases. See the Fox tracks, that was way out. He had a season of 33 home runs, 39 doubles. That was 2008. He hooks that one foul.
And he had that stretch too where he played all the time. He averaged about 160 games a season.
Was winning Gold Gloves. 3-2 coming. Smokes it in the gap. Ozuna on the run is there and makes the catch. So Cishek has 2 outs here in the 9th. There's nobody throwing in the Phillies pen, at least not that I can see right now. Although there's a right-hander up. Papelbon is up. My bad. He had stopped throwing and now he resumes. So it looks like Ryan Sandberg is going to go Giles and then Papelbon. Here's the question, though. Does he bring Giles back for the 9th if the Phillies don't get a run here and save Papelbon for a save situation?
Well, it's a situation we talk about every so often. The rule of thumb is if you're on the road, you usually don't bring your closer into a tie game in the 9th inning. You'll do it at home, as the Marlins are here with Cishek. Good changeup. But we'll see. It's not written in stone, as they say.
Or written by Larry Stone. 1-2. Foul back. Three runs, only 4 hits for the Phils. And of course the Utley 3-run homer, the big one. Giancarlo Stanton due up when the Marlins get to the bottom of the 9th. 1-2 to Ashe. That one came from a nasty angle and went a long ways. That's got to be a tough pitch to call as a home plate umpire, because it's coming from an angle that you're not used to seeing. Two balls, two strikes. Fastball, right field, deep. Stanton back, and it is off the wall, bounces over Stanton's head and comes back towards the infield. And Ashe is racing for third. Up with the ball is Stanton, and it's a stand-up triple. That was nearly a home run, about a 400-foot shot from Cody Ashe.
Well, flat, middle, no movement, and Ashe all over it. And Steve Cishek can just be pleased this ball was hit at Marlins Park and not in Philadelphia.
Carlos Ruiz has walked twice and fly it out. Cishek against Ruiz. Gets a strike. .81-mile-an-hour changeup. The ball that Ashe hit. Bouncer. Gordon has it and gets the out. And Cishek survives the night. 3-3 game. Giancarlo on Superheroes Night at the ballpark. Stanton, Marcell Ozuna, Michael Morse. When this is said and done, the lights will turn on, the spaceship will rise up, Craig Minervini and Jeff Conine will rock and roll. Missed chances, Marcell Ozuna's night, Jeff Conine's socks. All of those things will be discussed on the post-game wrap. Marlins Live. It is Stanton, and as we talked about, it is Giles who comes out for his second inning. Papelbon still in the pen. Stanton takes a strike at 95.
And if Ben Revere in left field were playing any deeper, he'd be in the Clevelander.
Last 6 games, you see Stanton's numbers. He's hit it hard all night tonight. He's 1 for 4 with an RBI double. Fastball out. Giles has a good fastball. As we pointed out, he's not given up an earned run yet this year. There's Papelbon. He sat back down.
Boy, it's been a nice homestand for Giancarlo. With his double, a 6-game hitting streak.
You can see the pitch count. Miami sent 5 men to the plate in that 8th inning, but it was just a 14-pitch inning for Giles. Up in. Stanton backs away. Let's see if that sets up a breaking ball. Here comes a 3-1. Stanton went after a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
He was trying to shoot that one over the right center field wall.
Well, if you're Giles, do you stick with the heat? The pitch was just out. Three-two coming. In. Breaking ball. Giles thought he struck him out. He walked off the mound, snaps his glove back, and that was close.
Well, he did go with the slider. He backed Giancarlo up, and so did the slider. Looked like the slider backed up.
Fox Tracks has it in.
And I'm guessing off the plate. Yes, it was.
And decidedly off the plate. So Stanton's at first. Here's Ozuna, who's been the hottest hitter of the night for the Fish. 3 for 3, 2 doubles, an infield single. We talk about getting with a step, that lead foot step, getting down in time and being early. That is Ozuna right now. Something he and Adeiny Echeverria really worked on early in April, and it's paid off.
Ozuna has his average over 300.
Ozuna, left field, deep, hooking, foul. A ball and a strike. He just missed it. Breaking ball clobbered in the gap. Left center field. Goes to the wall. Stanton's racing for third. They will send him. Throw to the plate. He is safe. Ball game. Marlins win it. Marcell Ozuna on a 4-for-4 night drives home Giancarlo Stanton. And the Marlins stay hot. What a finish for the ball club. What a finish for Marcell Ozuna. Great night for him. But it all was set in motion by the walk to Stanton. A good AB he had against Giles. Warren Henry drive of the game. Here's a look. The Phillies are going to challenge this. Let's see if Stanton got through cleanly. From that angle, you can't tell. From this angle, you can't tell. Hard to tell on that angle as well. I don't know that there's definitive evidence yet.
None of those angles really show if Ruiz was able to brush the back of Stanton's jersey.
So the Marlins could walk off twice here with Stanton scoring, and now the review safe at home. Umpires in New York have been busy with this ball game. Remember, there was a play at the plate on that wild pitch. Here's another look. I don't think he got him from that look. From that angle, it looked like Ruiz was late and Stanton was by him. And you know what? Still ball game. Walk-off number 2. Crank up the celebration again. Marlins win it. The call stands. Ozuna, a big night. The speed of Giancarlo Stanton on full display there. Even D. Gordon appreciates it. He was a wide receiver corner in high school. Watch Big G motor. Let's go down to the field now. Marcell Ozuna. Marcell, congratulations. What a night for you. And you had to celebrate twice there after the review.
Yeah.
For you, what's been the difference in the last week or so? Because you're really hot right now.
Just trying to work and put the ball in play and be early. Was here really good.
Because it really looks like your timing is there with the way your stride is. With Giles, the right-hander who throws so hard, were you ready fastball, looking slider? What'd you get?
I was ready for any pitch, just look the middle away and attack the ball. But though.
Here's your at-bat. There's the breaking ball. You hit it well, and you knew Stanton had a pretty good jump. Did you think he'd score right away?
Yeah, I was thinking go home. And when I see the play, I say, oh my God, and jump and celebrate.
Marcell, for your ball club, it was not an easy start to the season. When you were in Philly, you guys were 3-11, and I know you're looking for a slam dunk. I don't know if it's coming yet.
Yeah, I wait for that. It's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna stay here.
But you really obviously have turned it around. You've won. Here it comes.
Yeah,
all right, D. Gordon. All right, very nice. Did you play any basketball when you were growing up?
Disconnect. They disconnect. Right now, I heard.
All right, no basketball, I assume, when you were growing up, huh?
Yeah, I play basketball.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but in Dominican is different because if you play basketball, you don't get a lot of money like right here.
What's been the difference for your team in the last? You just said that you guys are having a lot of fun. It's obviously more fun when you win. What turned it around for you?
Just know if I do something in the game, the team is really nice to see. I know it's important for me and for my team. I do something in the game, made a play, made a good base hit, win the game like that, you know.
It's one of those situations, Marcell. You tied a career high with 4 hits, but it seems like one night it's yourself, one night it's D. Gordon, one night it's Giancarlo Stanton. Seems like everybody's producing.
Yeah, that's what happened when somebody put a little bit to play that game like that hard, you know, play integrity to win the game, you know.
Marcell, congratulations. 4 hits, you're over 300, and more importantly, your ball club is 1 under 500. Winners 8 of the last 9. Way to go.
Thanks.
All right, Marcell.
Nice
and he's handled the dunk better than anybody this year.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Way to go, Marcell.
Yeah,
Miami walks off tonight on Superhero Nights. 13 hits to go with their 4 runs. They survive a Chase Utley homer and come back and beat the Phillies. And Miami has won 8 of their last 9. All the highlights, clubhouse reaction, it's all coming up on Marlins Live.